Hi, guys. Hi, family.
Hi, family.
Lesson 280.
Lesson 280.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Amazing. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? What limits can I lay upon God's Son? Whom God created limitless is free. I can invent imprisonment for him, but only in illusions, not in truth. No thought of God, and we are a thought of God. No thought of God has left its Father's mind. No thought of God is limited at all. No thought of God but is forever pure.
so no fear,
That's right.
no sin.
No mixture. Can I lay limits on the Son of God, whose Father willed that he be limitless and like himself in freedom and in love? Today let me give honor to your Son, for thus alone I find the way to you. Father, I lay no limits on the Son you love and you created limitless. The honor that I give to him is yours, and what is yours belongs to me as well.
So,
So,
sis, what would be? I wonder if you're going to ask the same question as me. If we're one mind, probably. So, what would be the greatest limit that we impose on God's Son?
that we see him as a body.
Well, that just does it, doesn't it? And every other limit we impose comes from that one thought.
That's right. We would behold anywhere a brother seems to be, there is the Christ as God's Son, as God created him. So you know that there's no matter, there's no sin, there's no differences. The body's eyes are not reporting the truth about that individuated expression of God. So everything that we see through the body's senses is really a form of attack. It's saying to your brother, I will not bear witness to you as you really are. I'm going to impose how I would see you as little and vulnerable and confined and imprisoned. And with all the judgments that I lay upon that first belief that you are a body, and I will condemn you to death, because the natural and inevitable result of every body, life, so-called life in the body, results in death. I'm just asking, are you ready to back up and be willing to look at what the ego thought system sentences our brother and therefore ourself to? Yeah?
Hmm.
How do you want someone to see you? Is that what you would want for yourself? Or do you want somebody to finally accord you the freedom to release you from how you've never been, to see your glory and your loveliness and your holiness and as you really are? We first have to give that to our brother in order to really know that that's how we are in truth. And love is what impels us to want to see our brother as he really is. It means totally forsaking the ego thought system and coming from the divine love that we are. That's the motivation to free a brother. I release you. Forgive me. I forgive myself for seeing you as you never were, for thinking you said things that you've never said.
It's a big,
Mm, yeah.
I was going to say something else, but it's it's a hypnotism. It is an hallucination, you know, like I'm just looking at how I viewed my mother for my childhood and part of my adulthood. And the story was that I had an abusive mother. But now I see it differently. I'm seeing that I imposed that abuse. No guilt. Right? No guilt. It's just that in choosing the ego or the mythical me as my identity, I had to be unfairly treated. That's the only way that I can justify projecting my guilt, which means I keep the guilt and stay the separate self, right? The mythical me. And so I needed her to project the role of an abusive parent.
Yes.
I needed her to do that so that I could remain a victim.
Right.
Yeah.
She could be a perpetrator and you could be the victim. And there's the dance of specialness that you guys agreed to so that both of you could forget that you are the Holy Son of God.
And in seeing that, oh, Lord, I did this. And it's a dream, right?
Right.
So, Holy Spirit, take this from me, you know, take this from this desire for attack, to attack her and me.
Yeah.
Take this from me and reveal to me the truth behind it.
Right.
And so from that, I see that she is not guilty at all, that nothing actually happened.
That's right. So she's the Christ, you're the Christ, located where? In the mind of God, still pure and still holy. Only in a dream did the Son of God seem to separate into private bodies, one named Nouk and the other one Nouk's mother, and to play a role out. All the while the mind is just entertaining a sense of itself as it never could be. That's why there's no judgment. There's no more reality into what we're weaving here in dreams than the dream you had last night. It's just there to awaken from. In an instant, the twinkling of an eye will recognize that was never a part of me. I could never enter into matter. I cannot be limited. I couldn't change how I am in God. What limits can I lay upon God's Son? I cannot. Only in dreams does it seem to occur. And so we can unravel this, right? Today, let me give honor to your Son instead of condemn him by forcing him to be unnatural, a mortal in a body. There's something. There's a light there in your brother that's the presence of God that will remind you of the presence of God in you when you are willing to stop forcing this misperception on your brother. Projection. It'll make you cry, right? It really does. It just makes you weep. And that's honoring God.
That is really, really wanting to see the Christ in our brother.
Yeah.
That means to see the light, to see that incorruptible innocence shining, blazing in its radiance. We got to want to see it like I did with my mother, you know, and that desire, we can't do that. All we can do is desire to see the truth.
Yeah.
And then it's like what happens in that desire, Holy Spirit uses that desire to see the innocence, to see the Christ in our brother or sister. And that desire then becomes, of course, divine, because it is. And it actually burns up.
Right.
the ego's projection in both myself and the other person, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because you're willing with God to view his creation as God is seeing it. When you will with God to love his creation as he's loving it, right? There's nothing that can prevent that. It has all power of God, and it's the most gracious. It's the only thing that we can do for our good God is to restore his view of it through our individuated expression. It's like stop with the severing the communication. Join your Father in the co-creating process. That's life. That's the resurrection. So let's not see our brothers as bodies. Let's not view ourselves as a body. Let's give it over to Holy Spirit, who can restore our perception, heal our perception, excuse me.
Yeah, and each time I'm triggered, even if it's slight, by a brother or sister, I'm seeing them as a body.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see them through the ego's filter, as a body.
Because the trigger makes us a body. I can only be triggered if I'm a body and I'm a Coreen with my opinions and my beliefs and my, my defenses. Somebody has pissed me off. Well, who is this me? Yeah.
So when we're affected, not that I ever watch the news, I really don't know what's going on.
It's best
in
that
the
you
ego
don't.
world, right? Best that I don't, right?
Yes.
But I mean, if we still have a foot in each camp,
Yeah.
right? Fear and love, then we may watch the news and be triggered by international events or national events, politics or whatever it might be. Still, if we're triggered by that, we have to see, without any self-judgment or guilt, we have to recognize that the reason we're triggered is because we want to see what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And we want others to be bodies that are suffering or being murdered or whatever.
Right.
And
so,
that gives us the license
yes.
to really believe that we are a body and at the mercy of external influences that we cannot control. Is that correct?
It's all to serve a sense of a me. Notice that you could be at complete peace. Pick up the phone, go to the news, see the issue arise. It's not out there. There is no world out there. But we're looking at a report of some world out there. And watch the reaction. Watch what side you fall on. Watch the self-justification that arises. And watch the judgment and hatred that arises in the mind. Ego knows there's no world out there, but it's feeding, it's having a feast in the mind that is totally contracted. That hatred, that judgment, that divisiveness, self-justification, all the separation flavors, and the ego's just bathing in I'm alive. I'm alive and well. And God isn't here. Right?
Oh,
That's all it's for. It just gives rise to a mythical me and its self-justification that I'm a real boy, I'm a real girl. And none of it's going on.
Or I'm both, and that's real.
Yes.
Yeah. Or I'm neither, and that's real.
Yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, we have to just recognize it and play with the contrast, I remember last time I was checking the news, it was like, how are you feeling now? Oh, feel that contraction in the gut or the mind, or are you clenched? Are you defensive? What? That's all it is. That's all it's for.
So if I'm triggered by the news, then that's in my mind.
That's it.
That's a desire in my mind.
We want it there because that's perception's law. It's there, we put it there, we value it, we want it because of what it brings to our mind.
And to the degree that I'm triggered by it, tells me the degree that I want it.
Yeah.
Because if Jesus was watching the news presently,
Oh gosh.
sitting on the couch,
He'd be laughing, laughing, laughing.
sipping a frappuccino,
Jesus.
would he be affected?
Would you like a frappuccino, Jesus? Yeah. Yeah.
Would he be affected?
Oh God, no.
No, he wouldn't be affected, because within his mind, there's zero desire
Mm-mm.
to see what is untrue.
Right. There's no part of him that could ever be hooked or duped into believing that there was something in addition to God. It would be just watching an obvious fiction. Obvious fiction.
Comedy.
A comedy. Yes.
Black comedy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But no trigger.
No. No. It would be like watching preschoolers put on a presentation, you know? It's like, okay. When you guys are ready to get serious, I'm here.
So that brings me to another point, which is that if I'm triggered, what a gift.
Yeah.
What a gift.
Yep.
Because it's directly reporting to me how much I want
Yes.
the attack.
Yes. Yep.
So then I can give it my desire for it to Holy Spirit. But I can't give my desire for attack to Holy Spirit until I recognize it first.
Right. And so when
So
you're
the triggering is the alarm that goes off.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're jacked up on ego juice, you know, it's like you're roaring, you've got emotion, you're feeling justified, you want to get on Facebook and scream. Anybody out there know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the recognition that you really believe that that issue is out there and it's ongoing and you want it out there and not in your mind. You want to believe that it's out there. You're protecting it. And the level of your trigger shows that it's because it is such a large distributor. It's a mass producer and distributor of the guilt in our mind that keeps mythical me running. I recently had to see this around patriotism. I think, did I already talk about this, sis? Because I don't
did it. I don't think you did, sis. Can you share?
Yeah, since I was a little child, I have been extremely patriotic. Didn't know why, because none of my family's in the military. So it didn't make any sense. Like there was no obvious connection. And I would see the flag fly and I would cry. And 4th of July, I'd be bawling, you know. And my family would laugh at me. And I've never really understood it. But I had to see that there was a trigger around the idea of America and God and country. And I would go, well, that's not very spiritual. So we'll just, you know, push that off in the corner and we won't look at that. And I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it. And it's like, finally, it's like, maybe, you know, you've done a lot of forgiveness, but this is one that needs to be looked at. And when I finally looked at it, so much emotion came up with it when I finally allowed it, right? And was honest about it and the themes and the beliefs that accompanied it. And I had this experience where when I finally said, okay, let's look at it, I had this experience where, and it was definitely a past life, but it felt as though I had a full-grown man sitting on my lap, sobbing, like literally just sobbing his guts out over that together on the spiritual path, we're recognizing that none of this has occurred. And he's recognizing that his life and the commitment that he made to his country and what he did in wars and, you know, the buddies that he lost and those he killed, like all of it was nothing.
Was he a soldier, sis?
Yeah, definitely a soldier. I don't know the rank. I don't know. He was just sobbing that everything his entire life, what it meant for, he died in war, was for nothing. And I had to sit there having this crazy experience of a past life coming through that needed healing. So the trigger wasn't from this lifetime,
Mhm.
but I'm grateful for it, right? I had to see it because if there is, borders and a country and there's an us and a them and a right and a wrong, I mean, it's just another flavor of division and separation in the name of, patriotism. And there's a lot of juice behind that. So, yeah, yeah, it's good. So follow the triggers. Be curious about it because it has to come up. Whether it's this life or another, trust. I didn't go looking for this. It came up when it was ready to be seen, and it. I was carried through the whole process.
That's beautiful, because whatever's not healed in the illusion of time or lifetimes,
Yeah.
we carry now.
Yes, that's obvious. Like, where was all that coming from? No clue. Couldn't access it until recently. Yep.
So we give Holy Spirit permission in advance
Yeah.
to
Bring
reveal
it
that
up.
to us so we
Bring it
can
up. Yeah.
release it and be free from the prison.
Yes.
That's very helpful. Thank you, sis.
Integrating and releasing the soldier. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that was good. Thanks, everybody. Okay. So,
Thank you. And that is lesson 280.
yes.
What limits can I lay upon God's Son?
The answer is none. Just in case you weren't clear. All right. We love you. We love
Yeah,
you, family.
we
Thank you.
do. Thank you.
Um,
Thanks for staying with us.
yeah, and again, if there's anything that you can do to help us spread the word on the YouTube page, or even refer a friend or invite those that you think might benefit from our offerings, please do. If you are motivated to make a contribution to Take Me to Truth, there's a donate button on that page. We certainly would love and appreciate your support so we can get these messages out to our broader audience. Yeah,
Is
thank
there
you.
a donate button there, sis? Where is that? I have
I
never
thought
seen.
there was a donate button on the. Well, we'll put a. There should
Oh,
be. I thought
oh,
there.
you know what? I think you mean, okay, all right. So on the YouTube
Yeah.
channel,
Okay. There's not a donate.
yes, there is.
Okay.
Yes, I saw it about a week ago. I think in the
Hmm.
description box,
Okay. All right.
the resources.
The
It's a huge
resources.
list. It's about this. It's a huge list.
So open up the description box and find the link to donate. We'll make sure that it's up there. So
Probably the last link, knowing us.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. No. I just see that the good that this is doing and the family that it's calling to and those that are finding us late and saying, wow, this is amazing. And my desire is that we can take this, and I don't know what we're going to be doing next, but I know that we've got the operating costs and advertising and people working to keep our website and la la la, and people don't realize the costs that are incurred. And I know that there's a lot of grateful hearts out there. And if you can donate, great. If you can't, that's perfect too. Please don't stop coming. We love you. It's your presence that's the gift, but we do have those costs to consider. So I just thought I'd throw that out.
Mm. Thank you.
Thank you, family.
Yeah, thank you, family. One
Yeah.
other thing, there's a, a beautiful gift. You mentioned the word gift,
Mm.
is our monthly newsletter,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's free and it's full of these incredible resources.
Hmm.
So why not sign up for it?
Yeah.
And how to sign up for it,
Hmm.
hopefully, is in the resources box. Yeah, what's it called? Description box. Or go straight to our website, nouksanchez.com.
NoukSanchez.com. Yeah, I was sitting there thinking, man, what are we going to do when we hit lesson 365,
Well, we'll start all over again.
Yeah, but I don't want to, the family. It's like, anyway, I know that it'll be perfect. We can't be separated. It's impossible. We'll figure this out when the time comes, but yeah.
Yeah, it would be lovely to continue together.
Yeah.
We're going to
Or you
figure it out.
can jump into my deep dive on Thursday nights. That would be a great way to keep holding your hand. I would love that, but I don't know. There'll be an answer.
Deep dive into the text.
Yeah, on Thursdays. Anyway, there'll be, who knows. We're on call, Nouk and I, for him, and he will let us know what we need to do next, and I can't wait. But as of right now, that was lesson 280, and we will see you next time. Thanks, family.
Thank you.